First of all, welcome to the channel and thank you for stopping by. When time permits, please consider subscribing. I would greatly appreciate it. We are here today to have a talk about a product that I didn't think I would purchase for one reason and one reason only. It's ungodly expensive. But I did eventually decide that it might be the right choice, and I threw my money into the fire. And that product is the Klim Carlsbad jacket. And let me tell you, when you buy one, it really does feel like you are throwing your money into the fire. If you are familiar with either me or my channel, there's one thing that is absent on that channel, and that is premium or expensive products. I am frugal by nature. I'm the son of an accountant, and what I think of when I'm buying something is I need reliable, durable, and affordable. For the most part, I stick to that religiously. I don't buy new motorcycles. I rarely even buy new cars. I like something to be affordable. This is what kept me from buying it initially. Prior to this jacket, I wore a field shear jacket, and that field shear jacket was $199. Unfortunately, while field shear was a good budget line, it didn't quite have the level of water protection on the zippers. So the problem I had with that jacket was, while I stayed dry for most of me, any place there was a zipper on the jacket, if I was riding in torrential water, it was gonna get in. It just was a matter of time. It didn't have the YKK super sealed premium zippers. And that's how I ended up here. So I went shopping. And I realized if I wanted a fully waterproof shell, if I wanted a jacket that reviews said would not leak, I was gonna have to go to a premium brand. And this, at the time, I believe I paid $6.59 for it. It was $6.99 retail, and this particular colorway was not selling well, so it was always discounted at the retailers. So I went to Revzilla, I purchased this jacket, and I owned it for about a month before it rained. And I mentioned earlier, it feels like you're taking your money and you're throwing it in a fire. I really felt that way. The reason for that was, it's a great jacket. However, until you are being poured on, and I mean poured on for 8, 9, 10, 12 hours, it's just a good jacket. It's fine. You won't be at all disappointed if you don't look at what you paid for it. However, for me, coming from my field shear, which was incredibly dependable until those 8, 9, 10 hours of rain, I felt like I just burned $700 in change after tax and shipping. That all changed for me, however, as soon as I reached Oregon. Day one of riding in Oregon did not disappoint. If you're not from the West, if you're from the Northeast like I am, when someone says Oregon, we think rain all day, every day. I don't know why, it's just the thing. We think Pacific Northwest, all those people are being rained on constantly. And it did not disappoint my preconceived expectation. I came out of my Airbnb, it was lightly raining. By the time I got the bike going and was heading in a direction, it was pouring rain. And it did that all day. And then it did that on day 2. And then it did that on day 3. Essentially, I was in Oregon for a couple of days and I was rained on the entire time. I then went north into Washington, where I was rained on half of the time. At that point, I no longer felt like I had thrown my money into a fire, because I was now over a week of being rained on regularly. And I rode all day when I was in Oregon and in Washington. I didn't know when I was going to get back. I knew that this is my opportunity to see what there is to see as much as I can. And that meant doing it in the rain. And thanks to the Carlsbad, I never got wet. Just never. It was amazing. I've said this to people on so many occasions when they ask me about, hey, how do you feel about that piece of gear you bought? How do you feel about that bike that you bought? I always hedge what I have to say. And it basically comes out as, for what I paid, I'm incredibly pleased with it. Because I do my research. I don't just buy things. With this jacket, I gave Klim more money than I've ever given anyone for gear I can wear. And I was convinced that I'd thrown my money in the fire for over a month. But the Pacific Northwest showed me, by raining down upon me, that buying the Carlsbad was the right choice because it does exactly what it's supposed to do. Keeps the water off of you. If you've looked at any of my videos, I get rained on, and I get rained on a lot. I feel more than my fair share I get rained on. This has never, ever let me down. Nothing gets through this jacket. It's beyond amazing. Now, my buddy Tim, VTrack1963 on Instagram, let me know this summer that he treats his Klim's Carlsbad. He actually goes to a store and he buys a spray and he treats it because Klim says that's normal maintenance. I didn't know that for 3 years. Somehow in my research, I missed the fact that I'm supposed to properly treat this coat to maintain its ability to repel water. I didn't know it, and I didn't need to know it because 3 solid years without ever treating it, it never leaked. Nothing gets through this jacket. Well, there you have it. What I think of the only premium piece of gear I own, and maybe the only premium piece of gear I will ever own, the Klim Carlsbad jacket. It has so many upsides, and honestly, while I will be able to nitpick a little here and there in a full-length review, other than the price, there's really not much to be disappointed with this kind of jacket. And wow, that price is really, really disappointing. All right, if you stuck around, I appreciate it, and take care.